Hi, you can call me Priyanka. This video's topic is juvenile or childhood masturbation or gratification disorder. What it is, you know, let me tell you the age slot, age in which this happens. It happens almost all our life, but the gratification disorder is from the age of 3 months to 3 years. In case of normal neurotypical children, and it happens in both boys as well as girls. Okay, and many a times gratification disorder looks like seizures. The only difference is when any person at any age is going through a seizure, they are not aware of the surrounding and they have no memory of that time. But during gratification disorder, when the child is trying to, it appears like a masturbation. It appears like a sexual pleasure kind of a thing, touching and brushing of parts. See, I have to be blunt and I have to be very scientific, so I'm trying to put up all the facts. So I'm sorry if you feel it, uncomfortable or something. Every parent should know it. Father should know it. Mother should know it. So if you have a boy or a girl, anyway you should know it. So it's easier when you know everything. It's very easy to handle things. Okay, so let us approach this scientifically. I don't want to call it a gratification disorder. This is what it is. You can Google about it. So what it is, children from the age of 3 months to 3 years, they have this, like squirming, or they straighten their legs, or they bend it and keep folding and straightening. It gives some kind of very minute kind of pleasure to the child, and the child, if is allowed to do this, grows the habit. Now this line, when I say this, if the child is allowed or rather let do this, it grows a habit. This is there for anybody on earth. Okay, if we are allowed, if we are not told that alcohol is bad, if we have it, we'll get used to it. When we get used to it, it gets into our system and we grow the habit and we start enjoying it. It's a different story that later on it creates an issue in our health, but that's a habit that grows if you keep doing it. Okay, so between the age of 3 months to 3 years, this is very normal for neurotypical children. Now what has happened to our kids, children with developmental delays? Now they, anyway, all the feelings, the way I see my son, so what he is going through, the growth and what his reactions are towards events are a bit delayed. So what he could have done, the masti or the fun or the naughtiness or the prank he should have done at the age of 4, he is doing at the age of 7. It's just a matter of time, right? So but he is achieving that. Playing a prank is also a growth. So in case of children who have developmental delays, because the physical growth also goes through certain changes and certain delay happen out there also, like primitive reflex integration, sensory integration. You'll be amazed that sensory integration happens in every person, even between, among us, you and me. It happens with everybody. But children with developmental delays, for umpteen number of reasons, for the reasons are varied, still research is going on. So children who have developmental delays, they, some of them get this before the age of 3, some of them get a delayed juvenile masturbation or gratification disorder, and beyond the age of 5. Okay, so I understood what it is. Fine, what to do as a parent of a child who is between the age of 2 to 5 or 6 or 7 max. Okay, what to do? I'll make a separate video for parents of children who are above the age of 7. Okay, now what to do? First, we have to accept that the child is having some kind of feeling, sensation in their private parts, in whatever we call it, like the pleasure points in our body. Okay, so we don't need to be go or inspect in detail in our child. We don't need to do that. But if you see your child has started touching his or her private parts, mostly in boys it's much clearer. In girls, what happens is that in Indian culture, we keep them dressed up. So that keeps a lot of things at bay. And the girls are more, you know, sorted. I should not say sorted, I mean their needs are also in different ways. I'll first talk about the boys. So in case of boys, so I think one of the mothers today wrote that my son touches his private parts all the time when he is without pants. Why are you keeping him without pants? Why are you keeping him without pants? At any point of time, there is a video of mine. I tell all the parents that your children should wear four things at all the time. If he or she is coming out of the bathroom, you teach the child how to wipe himself and then put on the pants. What are the four things? The underpants. And in case of boys, the undergarment should have a elastic on its waist, so that, and the underpants should be one size bigger than the size child needs, so that his private parts a bit on their own, they get the air, but they should have some kind of, you know, a cloth is there touching their part, the backside of their waist and the front part. Second is undies. So in case of girls, slips of at least this much, or a, you know, if slip is sleeveless, then a top on girls till this length, and in case of boys, a sleeveless undie vest, and then a t-shirt half is also okay. And in case of boys and girls both, anything that is above the underpant, a pant or a skirt which is till the thighs, because these are some habits we need to grow in our children. The, you know, why, how it is related to the private part touching, I'll come to it. This is also to teach them that anybody who's touching you beyond the mark of the cloth, so for girls, anybody who's touching beyond this, so this is okay to touch in case of girls, but not this part or this part. So wherever cloth is there, your t-shirt is there, or pants are there, nobody can touch it. And if anybody touches in a region where the vest and the undies are, immediately inform your parents or the teacher, wherever the child is. Okay, now coming back to the, you will as an adult, all of us know that we when we are naked, it's very easy to get stimulated sexually. Okay, so don't keep your children naked. That is when they get stimulated, and it's a natural process. It's absolutely okay, but we as a society, we don't want this in our children. If a small puppy licks his private parts, we are okay with that. But if our child does it, is it okay? So if you put a human child open, naked, he or she is bound to do all that if they are let on their own. At any point of time, make sure your child wears all these four garments. The garment can be very light, very airy, of cotton, so that your child feels less hot, but we have to do that. That is one of the reasons for touching the private parts. There is one more aspect to this. You know, I don't know how this has creeped in, but in a lot of occupational therapy centers, especially in case of boys, what they do is, when parents say that my child is touching his private parts, or even if they don't say, some by default, like as a precaution, preventive measure, what they do is, they do this body brushing, right? They brush the inner part of the thigh, either bare skin or on top of the pant. Both of it is unnecessary, not required, and it gives stimulation to the child. Okay, I'm asking you to do an activity when you are alone behind doors or in bathroom. Just try this. Try to massage your inner thighs today. I'll tell this to even parents, fathers, okay, and mothers. Try to stimulate your private private parts, gently massage it, or even rub it with the cloth. You're bound to have sensations. Then why are you doing it with a child who doesn't know what this sensation feels? Okay. Second, this is one aspect. The second aspect is, our children by birth, because of the developmental delays, they are doing most of them are doing W sitting. Now W sitting is a reaction. What is the main reason? They have very weak core strength. Their ab muscles are very weak. When your ab muscles are very weak, you sit in a W position. Your alignment, the alignment of the legs, becomes different, weaker, rather weak. The load transfer from the hip to the knees to the ankle is different, and it's very dangerous. Most of them, they are not flat feet actually. A lot of people say that autistic children have flat feet genes. No, it's because of the weak core strength. They develop knocked knees, and because of the developed knocked knees, their ankles twist. My son is going through this, and I'm taking care of it by doing all these exercises with them. Okay, so this is another reason. How is this related to juvenile masturbation? So children who have these less core strength and knocked knees and twisted ankles, they can't do Indian squat. What is an Indian squat? When we had those Indian toilets, we used to sit in a certain way and do our business. Try if your child can do that or not. If they cannot do that, make them do that, because that's a wonderful exercise for your inner thighs and abductors, the inner abductors and the outer abductors. Google it. What are the exercises for inner abductors and outer abductors? They are nothing but some activities which a normal child does during play, but our children, they don't do it naturally. That's why include those exercises: inner abductor exercise, outer abductor exercise, free hand, and Indian squats. In yoga we call it malasana. Try to practice that with your child. You also do it with the child, and trust me, this is the preventive precautionary measure both, and you will see a lot of change in your children. Next, I'll talk about children who are from the age of 5 to 7. Only this much is not enough for them. Now, in case of children who are from the age of 5 to 7, and especially boys, the physical growth happens drastically between the age of 5 to 7. They suddenly start becoming taller or chubbier or more muscular because of the different exercises and OT we are giving them. Okay, so this much is not enough, because they see a surge of hormones also at this time. The doctors will know it. So what to do? You have to include a lot of play and a lot of activities, a lot of outdoorsy, and a lot of things that keeps them busy. So it's like one thing after the other. This finishes, the child goes and does this. This thing finishes. So what is the motive here? What are we doing here? We are keeping the child busy. Boys and girls, both boys and girls at this age, need immediate engagement in a lot of activities. When you do that, you will see a drastic change in your child. Even in case of toddlers, so now I'll talk about, so this is a precautionary measure. What you do immediately when you see your child doing all that, touching private parts and all that. If it's a toddler, immediately ask him to put on pants, or you help the child to put undergarments and then the pants. Undergarments a bit bigger, one size bigger for boys, and for girls it's fine. Anything which is cotton. And in case of girls, never keep them naked when they are very young, because they are bound to sit, and especially when they do W sitting, their private part is exactly touching the ground. It's on the ground. So the chances of infection is much more in girls. The private part touching in girls start when it is kept unclean. Number 2, when it is clean, bum first and vagina later. So you should always clean the girl from front to behind and never from behind to front. Number 3, the undies, the undergarment is not changed regularly. If the child is making it dirty or peeing in it, don't keep it on. And especially when they are on diapers, Every diaper should be maximum for 6 hours. Rather, I don't encourage diapers, so put them on underpants and keep changing them in case of girls. In case of boys, keep one size bigger. Elastic should be at least there in the waist. Okay, now there is one more aspect. I was talking about distraction. So when your child is doing that, distract your child, lift your child, fix his pants or t-shirt, whatever. I think sometimes the cloth is also not right. They are trying to, sometimes the undergarment goes behind. In your bum, it goes inside when it's very tight. So trying to take it out, they, incidentally or by chance, they just touch their private part and they like it. They continue touching it. Because they have still not learned that it's not socially acceptable to touch it. Okay, so these are the different aspects. The immediate strategy for you as a parent should be not to say no, don't touch it, don't touch it, don't do it, why are you doing it again, I told you not to do all that. Just if it's a toddler, pick him up, distract him and put him in some work. Okay, if it's of a boy who is between 5 to 7, you teach him, through social stories or different, whatever way, it's verbal or and non-verbal, there are different ways to do it. You have to distract your child, but put him into activities which is very engaging, because from 5 to 7, if you try to distract them, they don't get distracted so easily, especially in this is my first hand experience. If I try to distract my son Abhinav for, I have struggled this since last 1 year severely. Like he had grown a habit of getting pleasure out of it. He was getting pleasure out of it. I could see him having pleasure. So I think he did it quite a number of times in front of his grandparents. He did it in front of 2 guests. I was feeling very bad, but I didn't express. I didn't say sorry to anybody, because their kid must have also gone through it, and it's just that I didn't notice it, I didn't witness it, so I have to say sorry. I didn't say sorry. I have worked on it. Wait for the last part. So the last part is, while distracting a child who is from 5 to 7, you have to keep the child, distract him to a very engaging activity. What can be the very engaging activity? It has to be a chore, that household chores which you have already made the child independent in. So putting all the plates back, cleaning the table, something which the child can do independently. Then you engage the child. It was your job, now you didn't do, go finish it off, and then the child cleans. If the child is not independent in it, then you have to be with the child. And while doing it, if the child is touching, like suppose while cleaning the table also the child is touching, which my son used to do, I taught him not to, don't touch it and do. I didn't do that. What I did was gave him a bigger towel and asked him to clean with both hands. So now he cleans with both hands. He's forgotten that he was touching it. And the next is, after finishing the job, they can go back to touching. Okay, what to do? Make them sit in the squat position, or do some physical activity, or ask them to go and do pee in the bathroom, because a lot of times when they have the peeing sensation, they might touch it. This is it. In case of girls, I'm thinking if I have missed out any point. Yes, so in case of girls, in very younger girls, younger babies, I told you that the chances of infection are more. Because of the infection also, they grow this habit. There's one more thing. In case of girls, what do you see? They don't touch all the time. They put things inside. It's not they know that you can put things inside. No. Since it is not just one part, it is a it's an opening which is like, it's a crack which goes till behind. So it's a continuous thing. So they cannot put their hands behind. So what they do is, if anything is there in their hand, they through it, they try to discover how long, how far it is. Okay. It sounds funny also. Anyways, so this is it. In case of elder girls, definitely make sure you teach them that they are private parts. Beyond the age of 5, by the age of 5, they need to know that they are private parts. They should not touch it themselves. in front of others. And if they have to touch, they have to go to the bathroom, touch it, take the time, wash hand with soap, and then put the undergarments or put the clothes on and then come out. So the proactive measure, to summarize, the proactive measure is to practice a lot of squat position exercises, a lot of inner abductor and outer abductor free hand exercises for both boys and girls. The immediate response should not be aggressive, and it should not be negative words like no, don't touch it, I told you not to do it, but should be to distract the child into something which is a very engaging and a task which takes a lot of time. And immediately after that, make your child do a downward dog, upward dog, malasan, and a lot of different kind of leg and lower body workouts. They are fine. And also check if they have if they want to go and use the bathroom, they can do that. There's one aspect to this which I don't know whether it's directly related to it. I started keeping my son hydrated a lot, so that he peed a lot, and I made sure he cleans his private parts a lot. Okay, so in case of boys, when they pee, when they're very small, they don't know how to pee till the last drop and clean their parts. Okay, because Indians, they have the foreskin. So, Hindus, they have the foreskin, so you need to clean in a certain way. Ask your husbands how to do that, and ask them to teach. If you have a boy, ask them to teach a child how to clean. There's nothing wrong in that. In case of boys, the father should teach all this to the child. Thank you very much.